Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and welcome to this special Sikh Helpline bike ride show. Next week, 14 of us are going to ride a mammoth task. We're going to ride from Scotland to Birmingham. We start on Thursday and we'll finish on Sunday, covering 350 miles in just 4 days. Thursday, we'll start off cycling from Edinburgh Godwara in Scotland to Newcastle. Friday will be Newcastle to Leeds. Saturday will be Leeds to Derby, and Sunday we'll finish at Guru Har Rai Godwara, starting from Derby. Now, today we have with us Gyani Ji, Gyani Sukha Singh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
We have Sukhi Lote.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
We have Vic. We have Gov.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
And Bhai Dalok Singh Ji. Now, you may be asking, why on earth are we doing this? 350 miles in 4 days is quite a big task. Well, we're doing it for the Sikh Helpline. Now, the Sikh Helpline is a registered charity. It's been up and running for over 10 years now. And it helps all religions, all faiths, all communities, 24/7, 7 days a week. So whatever the problem is, you can pick up the phone and there'll always be someone there to help you, no matter what it's about. So, the Sikh Helpline, Gyani Sukha Singh, you were the founder of it and you founded it 10 years ago. Can you tell me a bit more about, how it came along and the reason for the Sikh Helpline, why it was created?
Well, the Sikh Helpline been running more than 10 years, almost I think 20 years you can say that.
Yep.
The reason we started the Helpline because I used to do a lot of youth camps, and in one of the camps, I remember this was about 19 years ago, a young child, about 13 years old, was complaining that she'd been bullied in school. She's having a lot of problems. Her parents are from India. They cannot communicate. They're afraid to talk to the school. And looking at her, I was thinking we are doing Gurmat camps, Sikhi camps. We are telling the community, the kids, you should be proud of your culture values. You should be proud of who you are. And when they face problem, they turn around. There's nobody helping her. The same girl said, I went to Gurdwaras. I went to so many places. The Gyanis are from India. The Prabandhak Siane say, I don't know who to ask help. I went on to the school, I helped and supported her. I got her out of that bullying issue in school, communicated with the parents and so on. And then I realized that, there's a lot of issues out there. And not realizing, not even expecting the Sikh Helpline to be a national helpline now. At that time, I just printed a black and white piece of paper. I wrote that Sikh Helpline. Anybody need help in school, bullying or anything, just call us. We'll come down voluntarily and help and support you. We put out the papers in the Gurdwaras. In no time, we started getting a lot of calls coming in. And then we realized bullying, parents and kids issues, so many issues coming forward on the phone call. And then that's where we slowly established the helpline. And then we realized that we need to run the helpline seriously. So we got it charity registered. We are registered with the Charity Commission. And from there, we started looking at, there are a lot of issues, not only bullying. You're looking at domestic violence, alcohol, drugs. You're looking at depression, mental health. So many issues out there in the community. So that's how we just keep on growing and growing.
So what actually one question that's important for a lot of people that are watching now, then the problem in our community is that when someone reaches out for help, we're scared that, okay, as soon as they make that phone call, as soon as they speak to one person, it's going to spread. Yeah. And, it's going to bring something they call shame on the community, or it's going to go around, everywhere. So how do you promise that? What do you provide?
Yeah, that's the one reason we started the helpline, because they can call us it'll be a confidential helpline. That's one of our policy. If you call the helpline, only the helpline will know what you.
So it's never passed on to anybody else.
We don't pass on to anyone. We don't discuss with anybody. If we have a volunteer, we got a lot of professional volunteers with us. We got solicitors, baristas, social workers. We got a lot of different volunteers already working in different fields, professional fields. If we sort of give one of the volunteers to handle the case, only that volunteer will know what's going on. The rest of the team in the Sikh Helpline team, no one knows. We have kept the cases in such a way that if one volunteer is handling, that information will not go to any other volunteers or any other management of the helpline. That is for him or for that person to deal with the case, to keep it confidential and quiet, because our community, is very small. Everybody know each other.
Yeah.
So that's why we keep it like a confidential helpline.
So what type of cases do you get? You're saying domestic violence and variations of that? Because you've got domestic violence in the community and people always shun it. But what would what sort of support and help can you give to people that are scared?
Tell you the truth, if you look out there, there's so many helpline. But most of the helpline, they only focus on one topic, If they focus only on alcohol or domestic or whichever topic, but the helpline, we left it open. You can call on any kind of cases. We got a lot of volunteers in different fields. We do get a lot of serious cases, right from suicide cases. We get domestic violence. If I give you one small example, we had a mom and a single mom and a 10 years old child. They were so depressed and they are so they discommunicate themselves with the whole community, everybody. And the mom was she was in such a state, for one whole year, they stayed at home. The mom never even sent the son to the school. They were both so depressed. The mom came to such in a dark area saying that, what's the point of having a life? She's thinking about committing suicide, And somehow the call came to the helpline. We sent one of our ladies to go and talk to her. Our helpline lady told us it took 2 months, not just 2 months, just to win over her trust. Because she lost her trust with the society, she lost her trust with all agencies, and the social services are already blaming her that you're not a good mom, why you're not sending your son to school, not realizing what she has gone through. And after 2 months, slowly the volunteer managed to win her trust, and she managed to get the boy back to school, and the mom is now back to work.
Okay,
and the mom actually sent a thank you card. I don't know, it will be on the screen somewhere. She sent a nice thank you card telling the helpline that if you haven't stepped in, we would have been somewhere else today.
That's very good. So you can see the reason why we're doing it. It's a registered. It provides support for anybody, any issue, any community, any race, what have you. The Sikh helpline's always there for you. Now we're doing this cycling event, 350 miles. It's not an easy task, and we've got to really work hard for it. So can you sort of explain our own sort of techniques and our own, exercise techniques and what we're doing it for? So Vic, can I start with you a bit about your history, your cycling history, and why you're doing the ride?
I've been riding for a number of years. Started with commuting, and in the last year I've really taken it up, kind of competing, kind of building up my distances. That's been a process of kind of commuting between 5 and 7 miles to doing rides 20 miles and 30 miles. And now, on the weekend we rode to Derby and back.
Yeah, we did 90 miles, didn't we?
Yeah, so it's a good distance. So it's just kind of a case of building that up slowly, and I feel like anyone can get there if I've commuted for a number of years, and then you kind of improve your kit, start getting the shoes, the clipping, all sorts of things. So you're just kind of building up your endurance.
So Yanaji, obviously I ride with Yanaji, and we normally do the route Coventry to Leicester to try and get better and better. I remember 2 months ago Yanaji was way behind me, now he's miles ahead of me, he's really quick. So how about your fitness now and what you love about cycling?
Well, I love cycling. I've been cycling for many years, but I cycle more towards in town area, just from Dudley to West Brom to Oldbury, Hansworth, and now I'm picking up far distance. And of course we've got professional cyclists here, which coaches and supporters a lot.
So yes.
I think the last few weeks we have done, once we did 110 miles, and then we did 80 miles, we did 50 miles. So that is just building your energy
and your muscles.
cycle.
So the guys that are really helping me, Yanji, and especially we're beginners. We've only trained for the last month or so for this ride, and it's a real struggle. So the two main guys, the two real leaders of the ride, is Suki and Gov. They're the experts at telling us how to change gears and all the other stuff. So you guys can explain your. You can start with you, Suk and Gov. Just explain, your experiences, how long you've been cycling for, how you got into it, and what's your main motivation.
Sure. I'm born and bred in Birmingham, and predominantly my primary sport is actually running. I know running in the communities, there's not a lot of us doing it, but for sports and well-being, I've taken up running and cycling. I've been cycling for a number of years now, and for well-being, for general health, I think there's especially for the Sikh community, there's a need for young Sikh individuals to be on the road to show everybody else that we can also do it. I go to many competitions in running and a few triathlons, and I can probably count just probably 1 or 2 Asians. I'm going to categorise as Asians now because there is a need for us young Sikhs to excel in these things. There's nothing wrong with this. I think because of maybe the start and everything that comes with it, I think maybe a lot of youngsters don't go into that, but that shouldn't hold us back at all. So I do encourage cycling and running, anything you can do to get out. Obviously, you go to doctors now; they prescribe park runs. I encourage a lot of people to join local clubs. So there's 2 key local clubs to me. There's one Kings Heath Running Club, which is my local running club, which I've joined, and which I meet some great people and we do some fantastic running. And the other one is Cannon Hill Cycling Club, which is local to Birmingham in Cannon Hill Park, which has really started my cycling to go to another level now. They've helped like-minded people. We learn from them, and also we share tips and skills with everybody else. There's been a number of people who have encouraged to go on the road, and there's been quite a few people who are now joining me on local rides, basically. So from my personal experience, it's my hobby, and if I can take my hobby and also do something good like support charities. I've supported Yanni Swakasing for probably 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
My brother used to support him, now he's gone to Dubai, but he's given me the reins. So we should try and take our skills and take our efforts and concentrate them not just on performance, but also helping charities and local communities around.
Okay, great. Gov, how about yourself? You're the main guy.
Well, I probably started taking cycling seriously about 10 years ago. Well, I say seriously, someone just sort of said to me, do you want to do this ride? It was from Birmingham to London.
That's the Saka ride, yeah.
Yes,
that's on this weekend,
yeah. Ride. That's going to be on this weekend, and that was for charity. And I went to a bike shop to get a bike, and I bought a big mountain bike. Really heavy, really difficult.
Yep.
Trained up, did it for a couple of years. Then I'm a teacher. One of the other teachers in my school was a very keen cyclist, and started cycling with him. Got myself a road bike, picked up lots and lots of tips from him, and then kind of hooked up with Gyanji, and Gyanji was cycling a lot at the time as well. That's when we started off the Sikh Helpline bike ride within Birmingham, so from South Birmingham to Wolverhampton. That was 5 years ago now, the first one?
5 years ago.
5 years ago, the first one. We do that every year, and that's great. That's 24 miles long, but we stop at 10 different gurdwara, so each run is quite short, and it's something that everyone can take on board. So for example, there's a Sikh lady who joined us for the first ride, and she was really, really scared before joining us. She called up Ganiji. Ganiji passed on my number. She called me up. She was like, I've never ridden on the road. I'm really apprehensive. I don't know, I've only ridden in the park. We kind of sort of said to her, look, we'll help you out. We'll give you all the guidance. We'll make sure that there's someone with you all the way. She did it, and since then she's had the cycling bug, and she's ridden. She rides every weekend. She probably cycles more than I do. She does over 100 miles a week every week throughout the year. So it's really inspiring to see things like that. At my school, I also do a charity bike ride with the students, with the kids. So, and you just see the joy they get out of it. And it's something that it's like a bug. Once you get the bug, you just have to keep on going. And the thing I really love about cycling is when you get out in the countryside, you're surrounded by the greenness. When you're in a car, you don't experience it. You kind of drive to get from one place to another, and almost you're in a little cocoon and you don't experience the world. When you're on your bike, you feel the road beneath you, you feel the air on your face. You see the greenery, you smell the smells, and it's just amazing. That experience. It's almost like a meditation for me.
Like you are experiencing God's creation.
That's it, exactly. And it's amazing when I've driven routes for years and years, and the first time I cycle it, I will notice things I've never noticed before. That's the kind of experience that you get from cycling, and that's why I love it.
So by the looks thing, you've got a really good experience, an inspirational reason for cycling, haven't you? You can share it with the guests, you can share it in English, you can share it in Punjabi if you want, for the older generation that are thinking, I'm not going to ride, or the whole sort of, I can't do it. Hannah, you can explain what you've done and what you've come from.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਦਾਸ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹੈਗਾ ਤਰਲੋਕ ਸਿੰਘ I'm from Leicester and I'm 63 years old and I'm a ਸੇਵਾਦਾਰ at ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਸ਼ਕਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਜਥਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ and ਅਸੀਂ I had a knee operation on replacement of the knee on my right hand side and when after the surgery I asked the doctor what shall I do about my knee. He says after 10 years you'll be back here again for another knee, and I was 18 stone and he asked me that you need to lose weight, and I says to the doctor, what shall I do, how do I do it? He said get on a bike, and with the bike you can bring your weight down. So I was 18 stone. Today I'm 14 stone. And I've got blood pressure and I've got sugar as well. But with Maharaj Di Kirpa, I am going strong. And for 5 years, I've been doing charity runs with Queen Elizabeth Hospital and Cambridge Tour with other charities, and Gyani Sukha Singh Ji as well. And I think this is a big ride for me, 350 miles. But Gyani Sukha Singh called me and he says, we are doing 350 miles. And I said, what? And I said, Gyani Sukha Singh ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ 7 ਬਚਨ ਜੀ ਫਿਰ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੋਰ ਚੈਰਿਟੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ I want to do it for people who are suffering in silence. There are a lot of people with mental help ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ education ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ. And there are a lot of people doing self-harming. You know, a lot of girls are harming themselves, cutting themselves. And I hope Sukha Singh will look into that. And a lot of people are depression. ਘਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਕੋਈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੁਣਦਾ. And ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾਸਤੀ ਇਹ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਸੁਣਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਕੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆਪਾਂ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਹੈਗੀ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੇਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਇਹ. So please don't suffer in silence. Come out, talk to people. We have educated people, barristers education, mental health ਦੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ. So please do not suffer. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ how to come through this. And the last thing I would like to thank Guru Tegh Bahadur Gurdwara Leicester 'ਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ 500 ਪਾਉਂਡ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤੇ ਨੇ. ਦੂਸਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਰਾਮਗੜੀਆ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਲੈਸਟਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 500 ਪਾਉਂਡ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਸਾਲ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੈਸਟਰ 'ਚ ਹੋਲੀ ਬੋਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ. I like to thank all of them for sponsoring us and all the friends and everybody who's been helping us to make this successful. So ਆਪ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੰਮ ਸਾਰਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ. ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਮੰਗਣਗੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਿਓ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਚੱਕਿਆ ਕੰਮ ਪੂਰਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੀ ਬਲੈਸਿੰਗ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਸਕਸੈਸਫੁਲ ਹੋਏਗਾ. ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕਰਿਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਾਰਜ ਕਰਨ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪੂਰਾ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਘਰ ਆਈਏ ਬਸ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ. I'd like to thank for giving me time to speak up.
Oh no, that's fine. So what I was going to say, if you want to find more information on the ride or if you want to get involved and help the Sikh Helpline or even contact them, just go on the Sikhhelpline.com and you'll find the information on there. So, you know, you're talking about speaking in silence and the reason why, you know, the Sikh Helpline exists because it's a real charity that really helps the people. You know, everything's kept in confidential. Anyone's got any single problem, whether they're young, whether they're old, whether they speak English, Punjabi, whichever, you know, the Sikh Helpline can help. So Gyanaji, an example that we find in our community, which is an issue that, you know, that no one really cares about and they just carry on, is alcohol abuse. And a lot of people might have issues here with, you know, we've always got one person in the family that, you know, you want to help, but you're afraid to help, or you said you've tried so much and nothing gets through. If someone calls you, how can you help?
You see, alcohol is a really big issue in the community, you know, in the Punjabi community. And when we get a call, first thing of all, we have got professionals who are volunteer on the helpline. We also got 2 detox centers, you can say rehab centers, and the managers are apne bande, apne Sikh. And normally when I get a call, I always get those professionals to talk to them and make them understand what can alcohol do and how alcohol can damage and destroy the whole family. And then we encourage them to get help and support. There's so many help, there's a lot of help there. No? If I give you one simple example, alcohol, drugs are the same thing. I had this mom called me saying my son, she made breakfast for the son and put it on the plate. This is about a few years back, you know? And the son sat down on the table looking at the breakfast. And the mom went off to do something and came back after 45 minutes and he was just staring at the plate. He was not even there because he was so high on drugs. He doesn't know what's happening. And the mom was so afraid. She said, I'm taking my son to India to be cured on drugs issue. Just a week or 2 weeks before she called the helpline and she said, I'm going to India. This is what the issues I'm having. You know? I said, in India, there's a lot of issues about drugs. I said, there's a lot of help here in UK itself. And can you imagine, the mom has been staying here more than 30 years, and she doesn't even know there's so many organizations out there who can actually help and support you. And I put in touch of one of our detox center. This is a Leicester issue, and the mom took the son to the detox center. In 6 weeks, they got rid of the drugs from the system, and then went through counseling. And I think in 3 or 4 months, he was clean and clear and back home. So there's a lot of help out there, only that you need to ask for the help. There are a lot of people willing to help out there.
And like I said, everything's confidential. Nothing is ever given out.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying to the Sangat, in Punjabi or in English or no matter your age, everything is kept secret, because that's how you run as a charity. And that's one of your main principles. So if you want to come support us or see us on the ride, so how do we get along there? How will people visit us and see where we're going?
Sure.
Because we start off in Edinburgh, don't we?
Yeah, so we start off in Edinburgh. We'll be starting off very early in the morning, because we're having a full day cycling. There'll be over 100 miles done in the first day. So I was saying, do you come and support us? If you're local to the Gurdwara, please come and support us and see us, and maybe, sorry, totally old Malaya. And so the first Gurdwara we're starting from is in Edinburgh. It's in Leith. So it's Guru Nanak Gurdwara, which is EH65TJ. So that's where we'll be starting from, and we're making our way down towards Newcastle. And the Gurdwara in Newcastle we're going to reach on the evening of the Thursday 25th is Guru Gurdwara Singh Sabha, and that's in NE4 5QU. From Newcastle we'll be setting off early again towards Leeds. The Leeds Gurdwara is a Chapeltown Road Gurdwara, which is the Sikh Temple Gurdwara Leeds, LS7 4HZ. And then from in the morning from Leeds, we will travel down to Derby. And the Derby Gurdwara is the Sri Guru Singh Sabha Gurdwara, which is on Princess Street. I think everybody knows that Gurdwara. It's DE23 8NT. And then from Derby, we'll be making our way back to the start point, where Yanij's Gurdwara will be. It will be the Guru Harai Gurdwara in West Bromwich, Birmingham. So I was thinking, if you can, we aim to be there around midday, and please track us, follow us basically on the Facebook, and we'll give you updates. Come along and support us, and just be there with us. It'll be a fantastic journey for all of us. I'm looking forward to it. The people who are joining have their own reasons for joining as well. We have we have some. Kore with us as well, and it's going to be the first time they're going to see Gurdwara as well, and it's going to be a fantastic community of cycling. So I was going to please come and join us. It'd be good to see you guys.
Just to add on, like from Edinburgh we go to Newcastle. Newcastle will reach the Gurdwara around 5-6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So if the Sangat can come down and visit us, will be very nice.
Yeah, on the evening.
And then again Leeds around the same time, I guess.
Yep.
5-6 o'clock. And after that will be Derby. Derby will be the same time.
Yeah,
around about the same
And the final day is on the 28th. We finish at Guru Hara Gurdwara. We'll be reaching Guru Hara Gurdwara at 12:30 in the afternoon. So we are hoping for the Sangat to be there by 12:30 to
On
1:30
Sunday,
will be we will reach, and then the presentation will take place at that place.
So Gov, training wise, you've seen how me and Gandhiji cycle and stuff like that, and everyone's at different levels of performance. I'm not an expert, beginner level sort of to do 350 miles. I'm struggling. I don't know how I'm going to do it. How are we going to do it? How are we going to do this ride? How are you going to prepare us all? Because you're the expert really when it comes to cycling.
Well, first of all, I just want to kind of reiterate to everyone how difficult the ride is. 350 miles over very hilly terrain. I know people who've been cycling for years and years, and as soon as they heard that, they were like, wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't do that.
And you're doing it at 15 miles an hour, ain't you? That's what you're making us do,
so
which is really
we're
hard.
doing it at a very high pace as well, so that we can arrive at a good time, have plenty of time to rest and recuperate, because there may be a lot of people who can do it for one day, but then we're going to do it the next day and the next day and the next day as well. And one of the ways in which we're going to achieve this is we're going to cycle as a group. So we cycle together right behind each other, and what that does is, because of the wind resistance, that's actually one of the things that you put most energy in when you're cycling, is actually fighting against the wind. If you cycle behind someone, you cut out about 20 to 30% of the effort, so it makes it easier. And we rotate around while we're cycling, so that different people go at the front for a different amount of time, and they can work harder at the front for a little bit, and then they can go to the back, and it makes it a little bit easier. If you ever watch the Tour de France, which is amazing, it's really exciting, they all ride together and it actually makes it a lot easier. But basically we ride as one, we ride together and we make sure that everyone's together. So we're going to make sure that we don't drop anyone behind. We're not going to go off and do our own thing. We stick together all the way. Some of the things that we're really going to have to think about is, in fact, one of the hardest things is fueling up. So making sure that we're eating enough on the journey. A normal, typical man consumes about 2,000 or expends about 2,600 calories a day. So just over 2,500 calories just in a normal day, walking around, digesting your food. Your normal day, you expend about that many calories. Just from the cycling itself, each of us can expend an extra 5,000 to 8,000 calories. That means that every day we're going to have to eat 3 or 4 times the normal amount, which people don't normally think about, because you're traveling 100 miles over hilly terrain. It's very, very difficult. So that's one of the things that we've talked about. We've during our training, we've been making sure that everyone's eating every half hour. They have a small bite and keep our energy up. And we've also been working on hills as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about hills. I think I need to say this. On the way from Edinburgh to Newcastle, there's one place. It's 5 miles,
5.5 miles.
5.5 miles.
Is it?
Continuous hills, and you say when come to the end of 5 miles, there's another steep hill.
Oh
Yeah.
God, looking forward to that.
That's the hardest hill of the whole
So
journey.
Gandhi, I was going to say. So we've got this. Obviously, we're going to do it this year, 350 miles. We'll probably do it again next year if we can,
Yeah.
if it's successful. Because we've got minibus coming over, we've got vans coming over. So it's not something that we've done.
Yeah.
We are prepared for this. For the person that's just starting cycling, give us a bit more explanation about the smaller ride, the 24-mile one from Birmingham, and that's on the Sunday, the September the 15th.
15th, yeah.
Yep. So how can you register for that, and who can come to that ride as a starter ride for everybody?
Well, make it very short. Our time is catching up. We got another ride, which is a local bike ride, which is on the 15th of September. We start from South Birmingham Gurdwara and we finish in Sajili Street, Wolverhampton Gurdwara. And on the way, we stop in each Gurdwara, and also we stop at Mr. Singh's, which will get pizza, and have lunch at Guru Hara, and then we go on to Sajili Street. And last year we had about 150 riders.
Yep.
This year we are hoping to get at least 200 riders. And for this ride, you have to be 16 and above. But if children want to join, they can join, but they have to be accompanied by a adult or parent along. And it's like a family journey, like a yatra from one Gurdwara to another Gurdwara.
Yep.
And you can find the details on.
And you can find the detail on the Sikh Helpline site.
Yes, so Helpline.com for this. And you might have a lot of programs talking about this charity and that charity coming along and asking for help and support. But from the bottom of my heart, and I'm saying it honestly, this Sikh Helpline is something that it's for everybody. It's something that for everyone, and it really does affect people out there. And you can call whenever you want. It's all confidential. It's a charity that actually does what it says. People can call, anyone can contact, and we've got support for everybody there. And Gandhi, from your main point of view, you see this as you started it. You're making such a big difference there, right? And how do you feel every day when you hear that call and you hear the success stories and hear how you've helped people?
Well, the only thing I will say is it's all the Guru's grace. And if you really ask me about the helpline, I always say the volunteers are the backbone of the helpline. Without the volunteers, we do not exist. So it's a teamwork. It's not just me getting up and doing it. Without the volunteers, without everyone, like all of you sitting here, without your help and support, we do not exist. Yeah.
And this is a great way of getting it out to the community and trying to see, that what we do is we do it for a purpose, we do it for a reason, and the Sikh Helpline is there for anybody that we've got in that community.
My purpose this year will be to remember my brother Surinder Singh Virdi, who passed away with depression, and I will be remembering him all the way from Scotland to Birmingham. Thank you.
We all remember him together.
Okay, well that's really good. So hopefully, if you've got the details, and the details are on the sikhhelpline.com website. So if you want to come out there and give us any support, please meet us at the Gurdwaras. Please visit the site. You can see how you can register for the next ride in September the 15th, and that's for beginners, and see how you can help us coming along. So once again, I'd like to say thanks a lot for all your help and support out there, and please do visit the Sikh Helpline, do visit us on the ride, and I'd just like to end the call saying thank you for all your time and patience, and hopefully we'll we'll cover the 350 miles. Thank you very much and goodbye and Waheguru Ji Kha Khalsa.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ